Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Beat the Bell, presented by Kane Capital. Excited for another show. Coming off a pretty wild day in the markets, we had a volatility-inducing news release yesterday afternoon. The market looked pretty strong, coming off of a cool PPI that the market took well to, but then boom, all of a sudden we get hit with news out of Ukraine and Russia. Nobody really knew what to make of it. There were multiple headlines floating around. We'll talk about that later on. But at the end of the day, the dip was bought up. So today puts us back in that choppy zone after what has been a massive 250-point rally post-CPI. So to talk trading, to talk markets with us today, we've got 6 other traders. Let's bring them on. Coach Dipka. Coach Dipka, what's going on, brother?
Morning, Alejandro. Thanks for having me on.
The ghost of Coach Dipka, whose green screen is not looking too hot today, but that's all right. Money Mander, what's going on?
Good morning. Green screen's working great over here. That thing looks like junk.
Yeah, you look fresh. Let's talk Eagles football for a second. So
let's not.
Typically what happens when we do the show is you're coming off of a really nice win. Eagles having been 8-0, lost to the Commanders. How are you feeling?
The worst part is I got 8th row tickets to this game, and I just so happened to get their first loss of the season.
And who was texting you? Who was texting you the whole game?
Unbelievable. Yeah, this is great. Paxton's been waiting 9 weeks now to finally see an Eagles loss. He's so sick over it.
All right, we got Ramsey jumping the gun. Ramsey, what's going on? Looking good.
Go Birds, right?
Go Birds. I'm so pumped to have seen them lost. I'm not going to lie. All right, Diamond, what's up?
What's going on? We just need Mander to go to every game for the rest of the year. Sincerely, Giants fans. So, Mander, just hit every single game from now on.
We're 1-1. We were at the Vikings game as well.
What's up? Good morning.
What's up, bro? Why are you saying it like that? Like you're pissed to say what's up to me. He's like, what's up? Like if I'm asking you.
Good morning. God bless America. Good morning.
God bless America. God bless America.
Bring it back.
Mo Mamba.
What's up? Good morning, Sal. The worst part about this is the Eagles season 8-1. You got the Giants telling them 7-2. That's the worst part about the season. But let's see how it ends, though.
Dude, I mean, to think the Giants and the Eagles both look this good kind of pisses me off alone. But all right, so that's everybody. Let's get into some market talk, starting with Money Mander and Noah. What do you guys got for us as far as Fed forecast and economic calendar?
Well, the most important thing, obviously, that came out yesterday was going to be PPI. Everybody's really familiar with CPI. I feel like a lot of people don't pay much attention to PPI. PPI just basically is going to reflect the supply side conditions in the economy. And so producer prices went up 8% year over year from September of 2021, which was below 8.2% expected, and is also down from 8.4% in September. And it's continuing on that downtrend of a decrease, right, since we got a peak of 11.7% in March. And so we're seeing these producer prices slowly come down, and producer prices are generally going to lead consumer prices because, you know, when your inputs come down, you can charge a little bit less for your product on the end, right? So PPI really is more leading than CPI. And that's why I feel like it really should have a much bigger spotlight on it, I guess, than it does. But this is good to see, right? In terms of inflation, we want to see PPI coming down. If we want to continue this narrative that we've sort of had peak inflation, at least for the near-term future in the economy, the market's actually rallied initially off of this news before sharply selling off, as Alejandro mentioned. We had an update on the Russia-Ukraine situation with the entire Poland thing that happened yesterday. There were so many headlines coming out like around that 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock time frame. It was hard to sort of tell what was going on for a second there. So we hope that everything over there can get resolved. But as far as today goes, we were able to get a really nice peek at the at retail today, right? So we had retail sales that came out at 8:30, literally just came out before we hopped on, and I think I have those numbers for us. So retail sales was expected to come in about 1% higher month over month. We came in at 1.3. So retail sales did beat And that was sort of expected. If you followed BofA Global Analysis, they actually came out and said that they were expecting retail sales to come in pretty hot here in this month. So that's good to see. And then we've also got Target, Lowe's, and TJX reporting before the bell, giving you a deeper peek into how the retail and the consumer is doing. So today has some solid information, and obviously NVIDIA after the close, we can't forget. But that's really it for me. Pretty quiet on the on this front.
Yeah, I think what you stated was like the biggest thing. PPI actually kind of is like the leading indicator of the two. And so when we saw CPI come down, I think it was almost kind of a given we were going to see PPI underestimates, because exactly what you said, right? Consumers, or not consumers, producers are not going to be able to lower their back end price that you're paying to buy the product unless their price is then coming down as well. They're not just going to slash their revenue margins for no reason. It's going to get put onto you. And so as we saw CPI come in light, that was kind of my consensus, was that obviously input products have to be coming down as well. Target this morning. So Walmart had earnings yesterday. Double beat, actually. They beat EPS by 13%. They came in 3% above revenue. So they beat revenues by like $5 billion. EPS came in at $1.50 versus $1.32. So that one really, really shocked me. If you guys remember Monday, I was talking about Walmart being one of the ones I thought would come in under expectations. Just given off of Amazon's earnings, right? So Amazon had a bunch of other revenues pulling up the tail for them, but actual sales of your kind of consumer staple core sector there was a big miss. Walmart, on the other hand, big beat here. So I don't know what we're seeing. Maybe it's a discretion between the two. Maybe people are liking going back and shopping in person, I guess. I don't know. And then obviously NVIDIA today, going to be big eyes on this one. The chip sector just moves like crazy. You'll see a reaction across everywhere. AMD, MU, take your pick, TSM. So I don't really know what to expect from this one. Historical beater very often, same as AMD, a lot of the chips, but we'll kind of see. AMD did come in exactly at expectation, so you didn't get a big reaction off AMD to kind of make me think that NVIDIA would come in, really off. But I guess we'll find out. You have any take on that one before I get into debt markets here?
Just the fact that it's up, I think you mentioned 50% off the lows so far this year. A little bit skeptical, running a little bit hot into this print. So we'll have to see. Hopefully they can give us some good news.
Yeah, that's a big one to justify. 50% off lows. So, for that to continue, it's going to have to be a pretty significant beat here. Debt market's pretty much flat. Ryan, if you're able to pull up that yield chart I sent you, the top might be in yields as well. We're talking top end in inflation. Top might be in yields as well. Everything's pretty much flat going into the session, so I can't really give you like 3-3 buy, 3-3 sell. VIX yields, everything's flat as futures are as well. But, now we're down. I think we're at like 3.85 or so. We're down about 50 basis points off highs here on the 10-year. So could top be in yields as well? I don't really know, but definitely seeing a lot less pressure. Yields are pulling back significantly as bonds get bid on as well as the stock market here in this rally. I think that'll wrap us up here, though, for a Fed forecast. Not much data this week. Obviously, we got PPI yesterday. So that's going to wrap us up here.
All right. Thank you, fellas. Now it's time for everybody's favorite segment, the system. Boom. Let's get it ripping. What did I say in my Twitter video yesterday, guys? 2 days ago now. The angle of the 50 SMA on the 30-minute SPX chart is extremely, extremely important. And I said that I felt as though on the first test of that 50 SMA, if we were to come down, we would bounce and we would bounce hard. And that's exactly what happened. So when we got that fake drop after the news and everybody was scrambling, the market was selling off, what we were watching was this 50 SMA to see if it could hold as support. That, along with some clear demand here, we see how we had support on the 30-minute chart. So that's two very strong areas of conviction. And for that reason, I got long at the 50 SMA, and we got a really nice bounce there, guys. Now, going into today, what is it that we're looking for? Right now, the market is relatively flat here. Futures are down 4 points, okay? So we don't have any idea as to how we're going to trade quite yet. So what I'm looking for is if we can continue to trade above this 50 SMA on the 30-minute SPX chart. If we can, that is bullish. That's still buy the dip. That's still look for opportunities to trade long. However, if we break below the 50 SMA and we get that sell signal, which would be the 10-50 SMA bearish cross, that would be the time where I would think about getting short. Now, why do I say think about getting short, and why am I not saying time to get short? What's the other very important chart that we always need to be looking at? It's the hourly. Now, we always want the two charts to be telling the same story in order to take high conviction trades. Now, we know that the 50 SMA is still going to be support on the hourly chart. And again, going back to the 30-minute and seeing that the 50 is in a super strong uptrend. A lot of the times what happens is you break down below the 50, but then you come back and you retrace. So if we do break down, I'm not immediately getting bearish. I want to see price develop. I'm going to be patient. But if we do get that sell signal, I will have bias to the short side. And if I'm not confident in playing short, I'm definitely not going to be going long, and it might be a no trade scenario for me, guys, which is perfectly okay. We don't have to try and catch every single move. We've had a bunch of success over the past few sessions trading to the long side. We've made some profits. No reason to give everything back, trying to get way too aggressive if the market starts to turn, because it could be a little bit of a trap. So that's what I'm looking at headed into today, guys. Now, let's go over to Coach Dipka. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and he's going to give us his Dipka certified levels of the day.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. All right, so fix the green screen. Just going to go. We're all here. And, you guys roll out of bed late. I know half of you are sitting on your ass just in bed right now watching this clip on Twitter, on Twitch, whatever. That's all right, because I got you guys covered. We're going to go in 60 seconds, just 60 seconds, and you're going to have all the levels you need for the day. We're going to change it up a little bit today, though. We're going to roll with the Qs. So Ryan's going to pull up the chart here, and we are going to dive right into it, okay? So let's start. Big support for the day on the Qs is going to be 284.88. I highlighted that one in blue at the bottom for you. You see that fib? What did I say last time? The 38.2 is my second favorite fib besides the 61.8, obviously. So 284.88 lines up with that 285 cycle level and a double bottom from earlier in the week. You might even say you have three lows there at that level. So that's a really solid support level. I'll be looking for a bounce trade there. Now, we have a lot of pivot levels. We have these double fibs at 289.38 and 289.74, which is also kind of lining up with this SPY 398, SPY 399 level where we have those fibs. I'm just going to ignore that, use those as pivot levels, not really take any trades. Overhead, though, I'm looking at 292.79 is my top resistance today. 292.79 on the Qs. I'm really liking that as a resistance. And we're going to roll with 284.88 support, 292.79 as our big resistance for the day. Everything in between is sort of just chop, pivot. I want to see us get up to that higher end or lower end of the range. And that's it, guys. We got it done in just 60 seconds. Beat the timer. Perfect execution there by Coach Tipka as usual. I'll pass it back to Alejandro to put you guys to sleep again. Thank you.
Right. All right. Well done. All right, Snipes. Snipes' micro minute. What levels are you taking a look at today?
What's up, guys? So today's a little special. I got 5 levels considering the range that we're trading at. The first one, and obviously the most important level, is $400 flat. All stocks are just perceptions of value. And so when we're looking at stocks under 400 versus over the under 400 versus over the $400 level, we could definitely see a difference in perception of value at 400. The next level I got for you guys is 398.62. This is a rejection level. The next level under that one, I have 397.84. Under there, we got 397.4. This is a crazy bounce level. I really like that level. And then I have a support down at 396.17. And these are the levels I got for you guys today. Back to you, Hondo.
All right. Thank you, man. And if you guys weren't able to catch all those, Snipes did put them out on his Twitter. So you can check them out there, write them down, use them today. Always has some pretty solid levels. All right. Next, Bet the Bell with Ramsey.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So yesterday was wild, volatility induced to say the least. Solid PPI print for the open into Russia, Ukraine, bombshell news. Let's get right into it. Indices flat right now in the pre-market, just went red, slightly red. So with that being said, are we closing green or red today? Dipka, what you got?
Yeah, so I think we could just stop rolling the tape after I go because, well, maybe Mander too. 2 for 2 this week. We called for the Slight red day on Monday, and then we called for I believe I said the Packer rip on Tuesday after we trapped the Bears. Outside of that Russia news that hit, we were looking very bullish. Bears were on their toes. And so I'm going to have to go today with green. All these dips are getting eaten up. Even this terrible news that's coming out, the possibility of, NATO getting involved in a war, right? Got a little bit closer yesterday, it seemed, and they still can't even sell us off that much. Buying the dip is still the theme. Very bullish. I'm going with green today and a nice solid green day today from the indices.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the last 15 minutes on Monday, we were looking amazing too. So
yep.
I don't want to hear those excuses about yesterday's news dump dip Ditka. Alejandro, what do we got?
So this is definitely the hardest one yet. We're in a choppy area. Futures obviously not giving us any signs. I'm looking at some key levels, really have no idea. I'm just going to go with the theme here. The buy the dip theme, as Dipka mentioned, it continues to work. The market is extremely bullish right now. People are buying stocks. I think we're going to close green.
Gotcha. And I want my macro guys for the next question. So Snipe, what do we got, red or green today?
I'm going to have to go with green, and I think we close above 400.
All right, cool. Next question. So CPI, PPI coming in lower than expected. Relatively nice rally since mid-October. I believe the lows on the indices were October 13th. Relatively nice rally since then. Are we gearing up for some sort of relief rally, some sort of end-of-year Santa rally? I'm hearing people talk about it. We spoke about it on Monday. I want to know if you guys are buying it or selling on this idea of an end-of-year rally. Noah, let's start with you.
I think that if you were going to buy for an end-of-year rally, the time to do that was about a month ago. I mean, we're pretty extended off the lows, about 500 points up in S&P futures. The Santa rally is definitely a thing, and the seasonality this time of year tends to be, relatively bullish. The last time that the Fed was hiking through a holiday season was 2018. Go back and look at the charts and see how the Santa rally did back then. So I don't know if I'm buying solely off of Santa rally sort of hype.
How'd it do?
Wait, my bad. Let me rephrase my question.
It went down.
So as far as buying or selling, I just meant the idea of it. So are you in or out? Not actually buying stocks, whatnot, into the end of the year. I just meant the idea of it. Are you thinking that we are getting a end of year rally or not?
I think that's possible. I think that's what we've seen so far, to be honest. I think it's definitely possible. I don't know how much further it goes. Like I said,
dancing around the question.
Off the lows.
Dancing.
He's dancing around the question.
What's the yes?
Do you
or
think
no?
we're going to rally into December or not? Well, I mean,
are we getting a Santa rally as
No.
we did last year? No. Gotcha.
All right, next.
Mo.
What's up, guy?
Diamond looks
Give me
disgusting.
too much
You gotta
shit.
get his
I know,
face
Diamond's
back on the screen right now.
He's so tight.
No, I don't think.
Dude,
So,
makes sense. Pax, what are we doing here?
So no, I do not think we'll get a end of year rally. I got one thing, and that's inverse Kramer. Jim Kramer tweeted we're gonna potentially see a rally into mid-December, and you know that guy. You got to inverse that motherfucker. So no, we're not having no end of year rally. I don't think so. I don't even think we'll get up. I mean, we'll talk about this later, but yeah, no.
Gotcha.
I also want to add that Burry just went short. He said last night that I think he said, you won't believe how short I am, and Kramer got long. So Burry short, Kramer long. Definitely not a good sign for the indices. I will say the seasonality trade has been working this year so far, despite the bear market. And I'm born on Christmas Day, so I'm looking for a good month. I think I'll bring us, being that it's my birthday, it should be a solid month.
Right, and this is all speculative because I guess this question really comes down to our Fed meeting December 13th and 14th, I believe it is. So that being said, Mander, what do you got for us?
All right, before Coach loses his cool over here, it's not going to rally. We just saw the rally. So, does the end of year rally exist? Yeah, but we just had it. So the difference is he's like, oh, well, what happened last year? Last year was different because we were ripping the whole year. You wanted to sell. You couldn't sell in 2021 or you had to pay taxes on that. And so what did we see? The very start of the next calendar year, everyone dumped it because now they had to pay taxes in 2023. This year, we're going to see people sell to realize losses for write-offs because you can write off whatever it is, $15,000 against your gains. So you're going to see selling to realize losses this year. People weren't selling last year because they didn't want to realize gains. So that's your big difference here. I think we just saw the rally, but how much farther can this go? We're going to go back to all-time highs before the end of the year?
Right.
Yes.
Make some pretty good points. All right. That does it for Bet the Bell. Alejandro, put us to sleep, brother.
That can't be that can't be the new thing. I don't like that at all. All right, we're gonna pass it to Mamba market analysis.
All right, let's take it away. There we go. All right, guys, SPY daily time frame. So 2 big things we spoke about before, if you've been keeping up with this daily analysis, is 395 level after coming up and closing above this the 395 level right here, right? So after closing above this daily supply, we hit it to the T and then another gap up, of course, a nice rally. Yesterday, PPI came out, was giving us similar vibes to CPI, right? So we sold off the day before, gapped up the next day. We were getting a little pop, but this daily supply up here held really well. And then we dropped, looked like the market was going to go lower. We got the catalyst of the news, unfortunately, and then the market just sold off after that. So I'm watching 3 big levels here. We are in a range, right? So we are in a range. I am short bias right now just because we did reject this 401.5 level until we close above this. And then I see us coming up here to this gap fill at 408.80. I'm going to have a bearish bias right now. So my 2 big levels I want to watch is this 398.55 level right here. And then down here, if we come to 395, the big 395, this is key for me. If we close below, we're coming back down to this supply, to this demand zone, and potentially testing this trend line, which is huge. So watch out for this trend line. Line this up on your charts. That'll be key for me. But for now, I am bearish bias. I have to be. That's what the chart's telling me. That's what the price action is telling me. Let's watch what we get today and where we close at.
All right, thank you, Mo. Now, guys, we're going to move into today's top watches. We're going to go around and ask the head traders what it is that they are taking a look at headed into today. This is probably the most important segment other than, of course, the system. So get your notepads out, laptops, take notes. Let's go. We'll start with Coach Dipko. What are you watching today?
All right, so we will pull up my chart here, and I know that Mander's going to get off to this chart, I think. So just analyzing the chart for the S&P 500 coming into today, SPX and SPY. If you just turn off extended hours, you'll see a pretty clear-cut head and shoulders looks to be maybe forming. Now, I think that chart patterns are kind of retail traps. I think they're kind of like sucker bets to trade off of alone. I do have a key level right at the top of that right shoulder. So if that is respected, if that fib is respected, I will stay short bias coming into today until we can break over the top of that right shoulder. But I think it does get broken. I think it invalidates, and I think we go higher today. But we have to be aware of it coming into today. You cannot ignore this chart, even if I am bullish bias coming in today. Can't ignore what the chart is trying to tell me. Now let's flip to the daily chart, right? So if we break that right shoulder, which I think will happen today, I hate to say it, I'm all for the Santa rally because I think we will sell off a little bit lower soon, but I do think we will rally up towards this trend line into December is what I was trying to say. Do we go back to all-time highs? No. I do think we can get up to this trend line and then roll over in – I don't think we roll over too much, but this daily chart cannot be ignored as well, guys. Can't be bullish bias coming in to every day just for, whatever. So 408.83 is a gap fill on the daily, and we have this trend line. If you actually look at the trend line closely, if we get to the top of this trend line by Friday, that will give us about 408, 409, right where the gap fill is. So Friday, I'm thinking we fill this gap, right? So we climb higher today. Thursday, Friday, we fill the gap to 408, 409, and then we start to get a little bit of a nice leg down towards like 380, 390. Okay. That's what I'm thinking here for the coming days and coming weeks. Watch that 408. That's going to be my top watch for the week. I didn't go with a daily top watch necessarily, but 408.83 gap fill trend line, top watch to short this week. Thank you guys.
Okay, Diamond, what do you got?
Top watch for me is going to be DraftKings. They're up like 40% off the lows in really about a week and a half. Kind of overextended. They have some trend line resistance overhead around that $15 level. We have 16 as trend watch is perfect square. And we've also got resistance from the anchored VWAP from the August highs. So multiple levels of support. I'm going to be watching this one in the coming days for it to roll over and potentially track back down to that $14, $13 level.
I think you meant to say multiple levels of resistance.
Yeah, multiple levels of resistance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
Got it. Mander, what do you got?
Coach, I can't lie. That chart was pretty arousing. I do think so. I'm preparing for both sides here. Target actually just came in with their earnings and missed by a ton. Also got it down for next quarter. So if we do get a sell, that'll be my top watch for downside. But onto Netflix. This is my top watch here. If the rally continues, this thing got a break hook and go over that recent high of like 310 there. Now into pure gap fill form. Closed yesterday green. It had crazy ascending triangle yesterday intraday. Like couldn't get over 312. So that level breaks. I'm liking this one for a squeeze through this volume shelf that doesn't exist. Really room up to 330 on this one. So maybe I'll play next week's on this.
Oh, Mander, not to jump in here, but I posted about this yesterday. I'm totally on board for this 333.22 is the level for the
crazy
gap
setup there. Crazy setup.
Yeah, man. I'm all about this. I would like to see a retest of 300 first, personally, to get long, but I don't even know if we see it. Maybe today.
Okay. Ramsey.
All right, my top watch today is Paramount. We got the hourly chart pulled up. Pretty simple. 1850 gap fill level from earlier this week. I believe, yeah, it was 2 days ago. 1850. We created a really nice demand zone there as well from dating back to last Thursday and Friday, 1850. So if we, reject our resistance overhead, we break this 1944 support that we've been trading at right now. The lows from yesterday come down to 1850. I'm looking to take calls on Paramount.
All right, and Snipes.
What's up, guys? I got something pretty spicy for you today. So when we take a look at SPY, we can see a little bit before close, a pretty nice bounce off of that 397.4 level. When we look a little farther back, we could see we consolidated there for about 5 minutes and we escalated. We absolutely blasted off. This 397.4 level is looking like a really nice bounce level. We can also see it did dip below it in the pre-market, but we did reclaim 397.4. Overall today, my top watch is looking for a bounce off of this 397.4 level.
All right, guys. So that's going to wrap up today's show. Bunch of good tickers that you guys can be looking at headed into today. Reminder, guys, the 7 of us will be trading live today all day long. Trade live all day long, every day in the Discord. So if that's something you're interested in, come join us. You can sign up at kane-capital.com. Also, if you're enjoying the show, give us a like on the YouTube, guys. That really helps us out. And we'll see you guys Friday morning for the next episode. Let's have a great day of trading, guys. Remember to manage risk, be smart, don't lose your ass. Let's get the job done. We'll see you guys.